Hey, we are live now. Hello,
Perfect.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to our new channel, and we have Gary with us. Welcome,
Hello.
Gary.
Hello. How are you, Tusha? So glad to see you again after so long.
Yeah, yeah, same here, same here. So, so today we're gonna discuss about DAOs. So, for the people who don't know what DAO is, it stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And what is that? That's something that's not centralized, that's not controlled by a central entity. Rather, every member has equal rights to vote for where the future of the DAO and the working of the DAO goes. And Gary here is a very prominent person who's running TrueSight DAO very successfully. And today we're gonna hear from him. Like Gary, tell us how it all started. The
uh,
inception of your TrueSight DAO.
People like to say I started it and stuff like that. Actually, it's not. It came about from a whole bunch of conversations, random conversations here and there, and eventually it formed. But I think what's more interesting to really share is, currently the prevailing mental model when people
Mhm.
do technology startups is that some special person comes up with this idea and then gets a whole bunch of people to come together, and then they all work their ass off and eventually build up this whoa really huge technology empire like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and all those folks. uh then when I look at it from the flip side, not really sustainable.
Exactly.
Because, well, I mean, first, you kind of a lot of those folks end up having really imbalanced life. That's one. And then when you look at the business model that they implement and spread in the world, it actually causes a lot of inequality in terms of the distribution of resources. uh, when you look at the definition of economics, the economics 101, right, is
Right.
to get resources to the people that need them.
Right.
And if you're seeing what's happening right now, a lot of the resources is not going to the people that need them. It's just aggregated somewhere and just not really even utilized. And when you go to the inner cities in say US, American countries, American cities, man, it's
Mhm.
the level of poverty is just mind blowing, totally mind blowing. So back to the whole concept and idea of startups and companies. Doesn't seem to work. So then, Einstein, or was it Edison? One of them did
Mhm.
mention that it is insanity to try to arrive at a different conclusion using the same approach, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly.
Then, well, we use the same approach right now. Is a person comes up with an idea and then get all the people and uses his resources, his time, his effort, his management, and build something and kind of change the world. So what if we just I think what really came about through all the discussions was this thought experiment. What if you took the exact equation and reversed, totally reversed it? What would be the outcome? So philosophically, it would be not my problem, not my solution, not my time, not my resources, not my network, not my effort.
Exactly.
Basically, when you turn that around, you have this whole huge emptiness, isn't it? Empty
Exactly.
space, totally undefined.
And you look at that emptiness, and emptiness looks back at you.
Yeah. Actually, and then it's quite interesting, once you arrive at the state of emptiness, then it does correspond to some of the more esoteric traditions in the East. I think in the Sanskrit, there's a system called sunyata,
Mhm.
which is emptiness. And
Shunya,
in
the
sunyata,
exact pronunciation, like here being Indian, I can help you. That is
yeah, perfect.
shunyata.
Sunyata, yeah. You're the
Shunyata.
specialist. Now I just read it off the screen. And
Yeah.
then when you look at the Taoism, which kind of like, from my perspective, when I first chanced upon Dao, and I look at the spelling, and I immediately thought about Taoism. I was like, okay. So to me, like when the conversations landed up on that stage, it was just really fascinating because in Taoism as well, the whole concept of oneness and emptiness is like a core theme. So then it's just basically becomes a social experiment as well as a thought experiment
Mm.
on how would a group of people, a community, take the principles that's found in these ancient traditions, say Buddhism and Taoism, and even like Hinduism, and translate them into a set of rules that we could follow and then kind of come together and work together. And from my perspective, when you look at it historically, it's not new. It's like there's been societies, cultures, and communities that like live and exist harmoniously amongst themselves just based on these principles. And we haven't really used them for a while. So maybe it's a good time to take this set of literature that's been collecting dust for God knows how long and just like brush off the dust and see how can we use them in organization again. Yeah.
Cool, cool. So rather than going with the conventional model of what startups is like, okay,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
an idea, find a VC, burn up VC's money, and then come up with, oh, it doesn't work. And you
Yeah, yeah.
went back to the ancient teachings of Taoism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and then you
Yeah.
collaborated and implemented in your modern technology and the decentralized organization named as TrueSight DAO. And I can
Yeah.
see the Agroverse T-shirt you're wearing. It's
Yeah.
one of the legs in the TrueSight DAO, and
Yeah. Yeah.
acted in that regarding cocoa nibs that you're
Yeah,
working on
Coco.
in Brazil,
Yeah.
organic farming.
And
So
mhm.
just bridge the gap
Uh-huh. Oh,
regarding
you mean bridge the gap
with
between like the DAO
regarding,
and this?
yes, the true side DAO being a technical entity running on a
Ah,
governance tokens, and then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
shift it to agrovers, and on top
Ah,
of it, the rainforest conservation that you're doing. So that's a
yeah.
cool work.
So this is where it becomes interesting, right? I think the high level principle that like led from something that was like really, really started in like a very different domain to this was this the Pareto principle. Because once you have the empty space defined, and
Mhm.
then all the community members, when they become aware that there's an empty space over there, kind of like undefined. Even like the idea of like using all this esoteric teachings was not even my idea. It's like when we every time we like sit around like having discussions, like what are we doing? Is like I don't know what are we doing, and then eventually, sometimes you people will just pop in the purpose, reason, and why, and, like listen to it, and then like you just like circulate it around like the other community members, and they will just come back and poke hole at the why. And after a while, it just becomes apparent like most of the whys and the purpose and the mission is it's not very grounded. It's like kind of like anchored in some la la land concept that no one really cares about.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or you can like come up with some whys that you feel, oh yeah, yeah, this should be our whys. And then after that, when you like look at it critically again, it's still back to La La Land. I think like a lot of like the startups, like technology startups, a lot of the ideas just like anchor in La La Land that no one really cares about. And the why, right? When we go very deep into human psychology, if you ever read the books by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning and Purpose, it goes very deep. It's like even in Japan, there's this concept called the ikigai. It's very, as a human, we wake up every morning. We have 24 hours. Well, I mean, you sleep for 8 hours, so you have like 16 hours. Then it's an empty space. Once again, it's back to the empty space. You can literally fill the empty space with whatever. And most of the time, most of the things that you feel in this empty space, after a while, just feels very meaningless. It's like the whys, right? That's why like a lot of the whys don't stick. And when you go back to like all this like antiquity like traditions, I think the folks that came up with this set of like traditions, they really spend a lot of time like really thinking about purpose and meaning. And then when you look across all the traditions, it just fundamentally boils down to a few recurring ones, which is I think the key is compassion, living in compassion, and then out of that, right, really being fully embracing the present moment. Yeah, like when you look at say the Christian teachings, the Vedic teachings, and the Buddhist teachings, there's a lot of emphasis on the presence. And then as well, in the Christian tradition, for example, there's this part that talks about all these manifestations being like shots of divinity. Then, from like when you can like really have a purpose that's like so deeply tied to something very deep, say, hey, this present moment is actually a present from the divine, and everything is like divine based on the it's like even like drawing from the traditions of philosophy of pantheism. Everything is like a shot of divinity. Everything is an expression of divinity, and it even aligns with the principles of the law of the law of energy conservation. Yes, within our entire universe, the overall level of energy is consistent. Energy is not destroyed or created; it's just there, and is transmuted just from one form to the next. So you can almost assume that that energy, this constant level of energy, it equates to what they call Brahma in the Vedic teachings. It's Brahma. Uh, Maybe my pronunciation is not good. You can correct me.
Now
Yeah,
you're totally right.
yeah, Brahma.
Yeah.
Then, if everything is Brahma, then when you're interacting with like the present moment and anything in the present moment, then that itself is the interaction, your interaction with the divine, isn't it? Then suddenly you the purpose and the why becomes like very grounded. So every moment is like an interaction with the divine, whatever you're interacting with. And then how do you express like compassion and presence in that every moment? And that becomes like it's a self-contained set of philosophical foundation. And then once you like hit this bedrock, I've been like still trying to dig like even deeper. Couldn't seem to like get any deeper than this. This is almost like the foundational axiom of reality at this point. At least like from my perspective and how like all the different like snippets of like insights contributed by the different community members. This seems to be it. Oh, Tuja, you there? Oh, hello, Tusha. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Huh. Drop off. It seems. Huh. Hmm. Mm. Mm. All right. I guess we wait for him to come back. Mm. Mm. Oh, okay. All right. Huh? Uh, uh, carry on. Huh? Uh, mm. Oh, what do you mean? Hmm. Okay. Well, I guess not sure when he's coming back while he's like still fixing his technical glitch. Let me show you the where I am at. So we are at the rainforest, and this is the where some of the trees are growing. So, do we have cacao tree here? Not sure. No, some trees are growing over here. Some lime. Ah, yeah. Look, right here is the cacao tree, and the cacao is like starting to fruit. Yeah. Oh, there's another tree over there. I was just showing the folks
Nice.
the cacao tree.
Okay.
See it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Now let me get back to like where I was like sitting at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So now they are
back
getting
to,
hands-on experience.
huh? Can you hear me?
So now they're getting the real experience of the grower.
Yeah, of the agroforestry,
Yeah.
Okay. So back to yeah. So I've kind of like talked about the motivations and the foundational why, right? There's like driving all this like motivations amongst the community members. Then out of that, right? Based on this set of like self-discovered motivations within the community, then the whole concept of like climate change like started coming about, and then from there, discussions about how to help reverse climate change comes about because well we when you like have a lot of this disruption in the climate, you're like causing a lot of suffering, which ties back to compassion, isn't it? And then
Exactly.
yeah, and then the desire to regenerate the rainforest to help reverse climate change ties back to the interacting with the divine. So if you are interacting with the divine, you definitely want to show some respect to the divine. It's like it's very natural. So if
Yeah.
like everything around us, including our environment, is the divine, then you really want to take care of the forest, isn't it?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's self-explanatory at that point. And then when like people like no, okay, it's like how do we like do that? Then like they start chipping in more and more insights and ideas that might have, and the ones that gain a lot of traction and like sustains itself ends up becoming like the whole agroverse project, which is supporting the farmers to buy their cacao and then distributing it directly to folks in US, Europe, and China,
Great.
and then having part of the proceeds from the sales coming back to buy the trees to plant on their farm. That's just like closing the loop on it. That's like the Sunmin initiative. And
Great.
then the third project, which has been ongoing in the background, Edgar, which is basically a set of automation tools, right, that we have put in place so that no one really have to like spend too much time doing the manual labor of like updating all the records and stuff. Edgar is like handling that all in the background. Yeah.
Cool, cool, man. So you're eliminating the
Yeah.
middleman, eliminating the
Hmm?
people who are. ac- I said you're eliminating the middlemen and the
Yeah.
people who are turning up the farmers and giving
Yeah.
most of the profit to the farmers and
Yeah.
giving them uh, all the international market and the spaces to sell their product, which in general they can't while they are the
You're
you more.
muffling out a little, Tusha. I think the microphone is too far away or something. Hello? Tusha? Oh. Oh, again. Okay. Maybe it's me. No. Oh. Uh, what do you mean? Okay. Technical glitches again. Okay. Sure. So while we are at it.
Yeah,
Oh,
hi.
okay.
Can you hear me now? I think it's giving me some problem with the microphones. Yeah. Can you hear me? Hey
Uh,
Gary, can you
yeah. Yeah. Uh huh. Yeah.
hear his
Okay.
voice? Yeah. Is it fine now or it's still echo is there?
Yeah. I think it's smooth now. I don't know what
Okay,
happened
cool.
just now, but you just chopped out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You're
what
saying?
I'm saying is uh, rather than just letting the farmers do the farming, you get them an edge to the international market, USA, Europe, China, and two-side DAOs, with the decentralized ecosystem, helping the farmers to stay ahead.
Hello? Yeah. You
Yeah.
chopped out. Sorry.
No,
Maybe if you stop your camera, then like the bandwidth would like be smoother.
wait, now is it okay?
Yeah. Then now you're
Yeah.
talking. Uh-huh.
Okay, okay. Cool. So
Uh,
what I was saying is, so
yeah.
you
It's
cut out the
choppy. It's
middleman,
like kind of chop.
right? Again, also,
Hello?
yeah. Again, voice is not
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah. I can hear you. Uh-huh.
Okay,
I don't know why. It's like suddenly the internet is like very choppy.
okay. No, my bandwidth is
Let's
okay. I
see.
don't know. It's giving some errors with the microphone.
Huh. Maybe it's on my side. I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
You carry on with explaining about the agrovers and everything.
Yeah.
It's okay from your end. Please continue.
Yeah. I couldn't hear your question just now and your statement. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So what I was saying is, like you act eventually, what you did is something phenomenal to the farmers here sitting at the remote locations of Brazil, and given them access to the international market via two-side DAO, which in general will not be a easy cake for them. And through two-side DAO, now you
Yeah.
cutting in the middleman, you cutting out all the people who are actually turning up the farmers and squeezing them to get the profits. You give them access to the markets directly, and people are buying from
Yeah.
two-side DAO, and like it's something like again a concept of the ancient times that you brought in and giving the maximum profit to the one who deserves it, the
Yeah.
farmers.
Yeah. Yeah. Because You have to think of it as like a self-balancing mechanism, right? If you don't provide this level of profits to the farmers, that's like
Mhm.
historically for each bar of chocolate that you buy in the international market, for
Mhm.
every dollar spent, the farmers only get 6 cents.
See,
So
see, huge
what
gap.
we
The
did,
disparity is huge. Right.
yeah, it's huge. So 94% goes to the middleman. Then what we did was that we reconfigured the supply chain
Mm-hmm.
so that around first when we started around like 35% went 36% went to the farmers, but now it's up to 45%. And on top of that, we're financing a new tree. And the reason as to why this is important is that the bulk of the Amazon rainforest, it's all private property. They're all owned by farmers. So at any point in time, the farmers have a choice. Do they want to continue maintaining the rainforest? Or do they just want to chop down the rainforest and like switch to cultivating something else? I mean,
Mm.
growing the rainforest is kind of time consuming, you know. And then if you don't make a lot of money and you like choose to abandon it and like switch over to growing soybean and raising cattle, then you might experience a higher yield when you're interfacing with the traditional middlemen. But well, then there goes the rainforest. That's what been driving the whole deforestation over the past 20, 30 years. So if a
Exactly.
supply chain actually works to make the whole agroforestry profitable, more profitable than soybean and cattle, then it's
Mm-hmm.
incentive for the farmers to continue like keeping their rainforest alive, their portion of it, and even perhaps expanding the footprint of the rainforest. Then when you can like align this properly, then basically when the footprint of the rainforest expands, you end up sequestering more carbon from the air, and then
Exactly.
that will have the effect of reducing the level of greenhouse in the air. So when the sun's radiation hit our atmosphere, the level of heat trapped in our atmosphere is not as high, and then we don't experience as much warming as we are right now. It's quite bad. Yeah.
Yeah, cool, cool. Will
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like to give an insight? What was the biggest challenge, be it technical or non-technical, you faced while combining these all these technologies together?
I think main challenge, technology from my perspective is always easier. You know? It's like
You're the
at the
tech
end of the
nerd.
day, no, it's like I was having this like insider joke with one of our DAO members way early on, right? We were like back in Singapore, or it's like just like sitting outside of McDonald's. I was like saying, it's kind of strange, right? The whole thing, whole trend kind of like reverts back onto itself given enough time.
Mm.
Back in the days, like double entry accounting was not considered something that's cool, you know. That wow, bookkeeping was just boring, and then suddenly you throw in some new technology, which is not really new, it's just kind of like new. And then suddenly blockchain cryptocurrency is the rage. It's like, oh, okay, double entry accounting is the rage again. I was like, okay. But conceptually still the same stuff, you know, like whatever you can do on the blockchain,
Mhm.
you can literally do on Google Sheet.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. So technical wise, nothing new.
Yeah.
Then I think adoption of the new technology is like a lot of friction because
Mm.
bulk of the members that are part of the DAO, they're not your typical degen folks. You know, they are really actual professionals that's working in their uh, company or whatever
Mhm.
full time job. They're like helping out.
Mhm.
Then I would say the biggest hurdle was trying to figure out how to clear all the legal requirements for like bringing the cacao out of Brazil and bringing the cacao firstly into USA. That was like the
Yeah.
hard part.
That
It was
that
not
was
even
my next
legal.
question.
It
That was
was
my
not
next
even
question. Like,
legal.
mhm.
once you figure it out, it was easy. It's like
Mm,
it's all the middleman that's trying to like just mask what was really dead, brain dead simple, and trying to like make a
mm,
cut out of it. When we were first researching into it, like we realized we needed like to deal with FDA. And then when we
mm.
like went and spoke to the FDA agents, they're like literally trying to charge us $3,000 per farm to just certify a farm. $3,000. I was like, dude. And then like their retention fee was like what? I think around 300 a year, and for every import batch of import was around $150 per import minimum. I mean, it's like, look, the typical farmer owns around 3 hectares of land, produce
Mhm,
if it's like gourmet grade cacao, which we use for making ceremonial cacao.
mhm.
It's probably 3 tons a year. 3 tons times $10 or something. It's what, $30,000 max, and you're taking $3,000 out of that just to onboard, and then for every import you're like charging a few $100. It's like doesn't make sense at all.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where we kind of like started applying like AI to break
Mhm,
around this like pseudo barrier. That's like
mm.
basically what we did was that we took all the FDA. There's like few
Mhm.
thousand pages. We
Yeah.
just like fed it to the AI LLMs and like got it to inform us what were the exact steps we needed to do to get it done, and we
Mm.
did that. So once we cleared that, then the legal barrier was no longer legal, no longer like a legal barrier, no longer a barrier. And then that really set the DAO on a very stable footing to really deliver on what it wanted to actualize.
So
Yeah.
eventually the AI was a game changer for you here also.
Yeah, yeah. I think the AI was a game changer. Historically, when you like try to deal with like legal folks, they're very skittish about like wanting to contribute. They're like, oh yeah, there's like a lot of legal, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, it's just like they say, hey, you know what? Either pay me or I'm not gonna do it. There's their very like
Yeah.
legal way of like saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I
And
think the AI is really good.
right, right. And I think AI right now has been taken as a some kind of a hoax or a monster that's just eating up jobs. But if you look at it very plainly, AI acts as a second brain to us, and a brain that never gets tired, with doesn't get bored while doing some legwork. And if we have like you did, and like the work like we were discussing before, building up AI agents, the work that I do, and so for any business, anything, any profession, right now anybody can use AI as its second brain, rather than thinking, oh, what AI is, what it might do to my job, and the future
Uh,
right now, it's not the future. Actually, it's in the now, when the AI is actually taken up in each and every domain. You name any
hmm,
work domain, and there's definitely an implication of AI.
yeah.
And yeah,
I think
yeah, please.
I think it's just a natural extension of the technology tools we're using right now. It's like just
Actually,
look at all the knowledge work that we do for the past like 10 plus years. Bulk of what's happening is like if you're new to a domain, then you just like go do a whole bunch of Google search, read through all
yeah,
the articles, build your own mental model, and make a decision, isn't it?
exactly.
Then
And
what the AI did was that they just went and consumed all the web pages instead of you wasting your time like doing Google search. I haven't like
yeah,
done Google search for a long time, by the way. And then like it just like condenses everything and say, oh,
yeah,
okay, these are the things you need to do. Then if
yeah,
you're like even like more enterprising enough, like you just like say, hey, you know what, drop up the document for me so that I don't have to like drop it. It can like
hmm,
get you up to like 80% of the way completion. That saves a lot of time. Even like
exactly.
with software like work, like I don't even like do bulk of the. I haven't like been doing bulk of the software development much for Edgar. Most of it is just like go around like sitting talking to people. like the community members to see what they actually want to do, and then gathering like the most recurring like pain points, and then just like,
Mhm.
hey, Edgar, can you build out this module? This is based on the feedback from the community members. Then very quickly you have a quick prototype up. Then you can just like float it back to
Exactly.
the community members, and then they can like, oh, okay, it works or not work. Then you just collect the next round of feedback, just like pass it over to Edgar again, or like one of the AIs, and it just modifies Edgar.
Exactly. So that's
Yeah,
how
yeah,
easy things have been with the AI, and just like I will say to everyone, get hands on with AI, and don't think is that something negative, and
yeah,
you'll
yeah,
find it'll work as your second brain, third brain, and now with
yeah.
the tools like N8 and make.com, it's easy to build an entire agent. Like it can do all of your process to by themselves.
Mm.
So if
Ah,
you are a
perfect.
content creator, if you're a content creator, you just tell them your tone of voice. You just tell them this is the way you write. You tell them this is the way you speak. Give them your voice inputs. Right now, automation has gone to such level. It will first write the script for you, create image for you, create thumbnail for you, then
Mm.
create videos for you with your own clone, and on top
Oh,
of it,
nice.
it will post for you. so
Ah, even
so
better.
yeah, and you just have to schedule. And if you don't want to schedule, give them a random date post after every 3 days. See, and that's what I've been doing with the clients, and I can show you videos, post this live. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
even make a difference. You can't even make a difference if it is really you or it's the AI making that video for you. So
yeah,
imagine, and this work to create one video, at least it was
yeah,
at least you require 20 to 24 hours to get a good hands-on video that's having a like quality, and then you give it to the editor, you hire a cameraman, the traditional way to do it, and now AI is just doing while you're sleeping.
hello,
Yeah.
Yusha. Ah, you
Yeah.
cut off just
Okay.
now to step. Yeah,
I don't know what's happening, so now it's okay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I was giving some more, even more fundamental thoughts about this trend.
Mm-hmm.
The past 200 years, since the onset of the dawn of the industrial age, right, we required humans to be machines just to help
Mm.
facilitate the industrial age.
Yeah.
And then at some point, seems like we're coming back full circle,
Exactly.
where the our technological tools has become advanced enough that
Mhm.
the prediction by Bertrand Russell is probably on its way to becoming true, like really, really fast. Like 100 years ago, he was predicting that at some point capitalism would allow humans to just work probably like 1 to 2 hours a week. Yeah,
But
and
no, right now the thing is working with AI. You can work with 2 to 3 hours a week. That's okay. But to update yourself with the market trends and the technology updates, that's what's taking everybody's time. That's what's chewing the people up. And I can see people with the of age bracket of 55 to 60s, and the CEOs, CXOs, they are coming to us to train them. So and they are not as tech savvy, and they haven't done that. And they also said that we know we have to learn this to survive. That's the real challenge people are facing right now.
yeah. The way I would see it is like eventually all this pointless, busy work will just go away. No point in working
Yeah,
anymore. No, it's like if you're
totally
still
true.
working at this point, I don't see the purpose of that. It's
Yeah,
like,
the leg work is going away. Now it's more of a creative, more intelligent, more streamlined work. Rather,
I wouldn't
in the
even say it's
time,
streamlined work. It's like when you go to its extreme, right? Work itself, most of the work nowadays in our modern society is just pointless work. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it should like be just as simple as like you wake up in the morning, like manufacturer. It's like get a cup of coffee. You just like, okay, hey, robot, get me a cup of coffee. Maybe you don't even have to ask the robot. The coffee is already there waiting for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like the envisioned future. The waitresses, all this whole supply chain all automated at that point. You don't even have to deal with it, right? You just wake up and the cup of coffee is just waiting there for you. And maybe your pastry, your favorite pastry, is just there waiting for you. Then at that point, in that
Exactly.
future, what becomes
Mm-hmm.
important is not really about work anymore. It's about how are you being a human being? How are you coming back to the present and experiencing this moment? Yeah, it's basically back to the you see, full
You,
circle again, right? The
yeah.
further you go, eventually you just come back full circle. How are you being present and how are you being like a human being? Because the industrial age legacy of like your work being your identity being defined by the work that you do, your profession, your job,
Mm-hmm.
it's becoming legacy. It's like it's kind of like outdated. Yeah,
Okay.
that is like gonna be dropped really fast. Then it becomes like, hey, how are you as a human being? Are you and how are you being present right now? Honoring the present, interacting with the divine. That's what it is. Yeah.
The thing is, whenever I'm in talk with any of the person from the West who is in tech field,
Uh-huh.
they're
Yeah.
all talking about this. What you talked is the Vedic philosophy. It's the Vedanta philosophy, and everybody's so like it's so beautiful that you guys are too right now focusing on living in the present,
Huh?
feeling. I said like you guys have
Hello?
really imbibed. Hello, can you hear me? Gary, your screen is freezed. Yeah.
Yeah, chopping. Couldn't hear you properly.
Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is,
Hello? Yeah. Okay. Try again. Yeah. Uh-huh.
what I was saying is, it's so cool whenever we're talking to any of the person sitting in the West in the tech industry, and no matter how much technology we discuss, at the end it will again go back to the extreme Vedanta philosophy you just told right now. It's all about how we experience the life, how we experience the present moment, and every work that we are doing, everything that we are doing is just mundane. It's totally how better human being you are and how well you're living.
Yeah. 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 Actually, the work, right, itself is not mundane. The work is the exercise of presence. You can be like drinking a cup of coffee, sweeping the floor. Maybe you don't need to sweep the floor, but you're like sweeping the floor because you're exercising presence.
No, here, like why you consider anything we are doing to earn money as a work. I'm not saying of the any
Yeah, yeah,
work that you're doing in the household.
yeah. Like the earning, working to earn money, it's kind of like pointless at that point, right? It's like money becomes meaningless beyond a certain point. Money, it's essentially a proxy of the resources that you can exchange it for. But if everything is just like all like including like all the production process, then why do you even need money? It's just like
Exactly.
there, right? It's just kind of like there. You wake up in the morning, the cup of coffee is just waiting for you over there.
So what I say to people is don't take that money is meaningless or something until you have money. Unless you
No.
have enough money, only then this point when you have enough money for the person who has enough money and who has seen it all. It's very good to say that money is not everything, but for the people who are just who are in the race, just get to the point where you can actually feel it when you say it.
The interesting thing here in Baya, uh,
Mhm.
I meet up with a bunch of folks. Most of them don't have really a lot of money.
Mhm.
Like there was one girl. She came from Argentina. First
Okay.
6 months she was here, she was just living on the beach. No money, totally broke. And then I say, okay, how do you go about surviving? She's like, yeah. She just goes and asks folks for water, and they are very happy to just give her water. And then for food, like end of the day, when the restaurants are about to close, she just goes up to the restaurant owner, is like, I'm kind of like broke. Yeah, they just like give them food. Myself, uh, for the past like 4 or 5 months, when I was like going through like North America, literally I haven't really spent money on food at all. Yeah, every new place when I was invited to bring the festivals, bring the cacao to the festival, either the food is there, or after the festival is over, there's a whole bunch of leftover food that they don't want, so I just end up packing in my car. Or I go to a new space where like the local community member invited me to, and as soon as I arrive, they say, "Hey, there's like a very nice like food bank over here." I say, "Oh, okay, let's drive up." Or the fresh produce, they don't even ask; they just like pass you all the food. So we are already in a period of overabundance when it comes to your survival. Then on top of that, the social is like if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Up next
Mhm.
is like your safety. I mean, like safety, you don't even need like a huge house. It's like literally, I just like leave out a car when I like move from like space to space. And then in terms of like the social bonding, like the whole community is just there. It's like I go from one space to the next. Every time I go to a new space, the community is there. Or like if I'm new to a space, the community starts growing. And I get like or I just get introduced to more folks. It's just either deepening of the community or like growing of new community. Then as you traverse through a space enough, like basically then your social needs are all taken care of, isn't it? So your food and shelter needs are taken care of, your social needs are taken care of. Then after that, what's that? Self-actualization. Self-actualization, like, oh, a lot of people like to say self-actualization is like, you achieve some vision of yourself. But when you look at the esoteric traditions, self-actualization could just mean self-realization. Slight difference in word, but quite similar. And one is actually more fundamentally true. Where when you look at the esoteric traditions, Anatman, which is not self, based on the third mark of the Buddhist tradition, it
Mhm.
literally just means the interdependent origin of all beings, right? Which is a very poetic way of saying that the law of conservation of energy. When you start realizing the self is actually part of like this larger energy field that's just like floating around, then yeah, that's like self-realization. It's like, oh, okay. There's like this separate entity of a self is just a figment of illusion. Because every moment we are exchanging energy with this environment, and even like this, all this energy is part of the larger environment. Yeah. And then at that point you just like naturally just fall into oneness with the larger environment. When you like have this like realizations, oh, okay, well, we are all actually just one. This like blob of energy that's floating through time and space.
True. So, today I imagined like today's session will be core technical, but eventually the wisdom of life is anyway flowing. So,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it's like when you like the other day, I was having a chat with Fatima, who was like, she
Mhm.
feels very upset and disappointed, like by the farmer not really like bothering to inform us about their change of like ideas and decision. I was
Mhm.
like saying to her, goals are good, something to just work towards, but expectations not really helpful because basically it fixates us on what we expect to happen.
Mm.
Then yeah, the engaging in this like community activity is at the same time an exercising of being fully present and accepting what the present moment is. Yeah.
Mhm.
So so part of it is like, hey, how do we help like regenerate the rainforest, regenerating our environment. But the other part of it is like, how do we, as we go through the process, like start seeing our internal attachment, our ideas that's actually not really aligned with the reality anymore, and just cultivate the presence and equanimity to just drop it. because it's not part of the reality anymore, and save our energy and just devote it to what needs to be done. That's part of the exercise. Yeah, it's like meaningful. It's always back to that.
Great, great. So, do you encounter with the indigenous people of the Amazon forest also? And if yes, how do you coordinate with them? And
Ah,
what it is to interact with them?
it's not me that's like directly interfacing with them. Emmeline is one of the she's an indigenous herself. So
Okay.
the way I interface with the DAO or the community is I don't really try to do things. It's like if the
Mm-hmm.
community approaches me and proposes, then I just like explore. And
Mm-hmm.
if enough of the community members like say the same thing, then it's like okay, maybe we should do something about it. Otherwise, like there's not enough like momentum or desire to do something, then why bother? It's just conserve the energy, right?
Mm. Good. And
Yeah.
how and if we get to if you can tell us how does the DAO's governance structure work in practice for your
Huh?
organization? Your DAO's
What? Hello?
governance structure. DAO's governance structure.
Ah, it's quite simple.
Mm-hmm.
The rules are very, very simple. Very, very, very simple. For every hour you contribute, you get 100 tokens issued to you.
Mm-hmm.
And every dollar you contribute, you get one token issued to you. Then people would ask, hey, why is it that I do this, I get 100 tokens per hour. I do something like else, I get 100 tokens an hour. Then but it still falls back to the law of conservation of energy, right? It's like, all right, 1 hour of human effort has been expensed. Tokenizing that energy is just that. It's like that energy. So yeah, that's why it's like so simple. Then like the
Mm-hmm.
$1 to one token is pretty arbitrary. Because when we like look at the average wage rate of like the Americans, it's like saying, okay, you're making an average of like $100 an hour. Okay, like that's fine then. It's like set it as anyone who wants to contribute to the DAO, the rate is like 100 tokens an hour, and then if you contribute $1, then it's like basically it's like the US dollar exchange rate applies. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
true, true, true.
then yeah, I mean US dollars like the whole thing like started in the US, right? So okay, if you don't like it, just vote otherwise. I'm fine with it. Just go and convince other people to like surface a proposal and vote. So be it. And then yeah, lately there's been the signals from the community that say, hey, we would like to have the cacao ourselves. I was like, okay. Then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this morning it finally crystallized. It's like saying, so you mean that if I contribute enough of my time, I can use the tokens I accumulated to exchange for cacao? I was like, yeah, because like your tokens when it's issued to you represents a portion of the assets that's in our treasury. So if you don't want to hold on to the tokens or voting rights, you can just like say, hey, I exchanged this for like one for one value of the bag of cacao. It's reasonable. It's like okay, then just exchange it. Perfect. It
Great.
coincidentally, the pattern resembles the way the Vipassana system works, as well
Mm-hmm.
as the Zen Green Gulch Zen Center in San Francisco. And then in the north, in Oregon, there's this place called the Sanctuary of Healing Artists. It's all these are community based movements, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all based on the same set of rules. So ends up it just like goes that way anyway. So from my perspective, using like a cryptocurrency token to reflect this or not doesn't really matter. You can just like record everything on the Google Sheet, and if all the transactions can be traced on the Google Sheet, it's fine as well. Yeah, yeah. You don't really need a lot of complication. Yeah, so
Exactly.
anyone can like just do it. They just need some automation to it if they really want to mobilize their community.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the blockchain. Everything is with a proper timestamp, and everything is automated. So no person has to worry. Like, okay, I
Yeah.
have worked for.
Hello.
I think everything is automated, and
Yeah.
everything is with the timestamps.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
so one doesn't have to worry that, like, the end user who's contributing to the DAO doesn't have to worry,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if its efforts will get noted or not. So that's the best thing.
Yeah. Just go to the tab that we have, and then just like, oh, what did you do? Okay, this is like your proof of work. Submit something, and then like indicate what how much time you spent, and or
Hmm.
how much money you spent on that, and then like basically the whole transaction will just be signed with your public signature, and then it's just
Right,
updated on Google Sheet. It's like, okay, no dispute, right? Because updated on Google Sheet. Yeah.
right, right.
Then you like say,
Perfect.
hey, it's not done by me, but it's like, hey, look, your submission, it's the transaction request and your public signature and all the details they match, right? So it's technically done by you, right? Unless you tell me that like someone else took your private key, then you should probably like replace your private key by just like one click.
Exactly, exactly. And then in just like one line, you
Yeah.
have almost told the entire architecture of how the DAO works.
Yeah.
And
It's very simple.
yeah,
It doesn't have to, it shouldn't be complicated, you know?
complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because
right.
complicated ideas are hard to spread. Like this is something I realized after a lot of iteration. Like a lot of the when you do a project, it's
Hmm.
easy to go and become complex. You add more bells and whistles to it, and the more you add to it, the more you like kind of like, oh, you feel so good about yourself. You see, oh, so nice, and then you try to like explain it to the next person beside you, and they like just look at you as like you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But if you can like just keep it very, very simple to like one to three, 1 to 2 lines, and just explain the whole thing, then they
Hmm.
can just understand. And actually,
Hmm.
more importantly, they can take it and like share it with their friends, you know, because then their
Yeah.
friends can understand. And then like it's just like start spreading itself. It starts conforming. Then at that point, the 6 degree of Kevin Bacon principle starts becoming very relevant. Yeah,
And that is.
because in the 6 degree of Kevin Bacon, the assumption is that we are all connected to anyone around the world just by 6 degrees.
Hmm.
Yeah. So if you are able to come up with something that has a very strong, compelling reason why, and is simple enough to explain, and is very simple to act upon, then by default it should spread through all 6 degrees at some point. It's not if, it's a matter of when. Yeah. And I
Exactly.
like, yeah, even in the DAO itself, like after observing its growth, its organic growth over the past 7 years, some of the human chains are around like 10 chains long. Maybe some of the DAO members are
Hmm.
10 degrees away from me personally. Like, I don't even know this person, but in between me and this person that I know now, this part of contributing to the DAO, there are 9 other people. You see how the message actually like spread, right? It's just because it's like so simple, and the why is very clear. Yeah.
Great, great, great. Uh, Before we end up this conclude this session, I was so
Uh-huh.
you showed the cacao nibs. So can you do that to the audience again, and so that everybody can help have the glimpse of it?
Yeah, the cacao fruit, huh? Let me
Yeah,
bring you to the see the fruit. The nips is
yeah.
just one of the stuff we made available.
One of the yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of community members, they want the ceremonial cacao. So we started
Hmm.
having like the local community member here, like help produce the ceremonial cacao. Then we also started bringing the cacao beans. So this is the cacao fruit here, look,
Mm.
and this is the cacao tree. Ah, they are drying some cacao under the sun right now. Let me see if I can
Yeah,
show you if
yeah,
the
sure.
reception is good. Yeah, this is like where I'm staying at right now. It's quite a nice space, and they are the folks that's running the hostel. Then yeah, it's a very nice vibe to it. This used to be a cacao farm. Then they
Okay,
converted it into a hostel. But there's still fruit
okay.
trees. Like look, there's the papaya tree, then there's the banana tree over there, and then literally oh, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
can you
Now.
see here? Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
These are the cacao beans. Yeah, once you
So
break them
everyone
out of your
looking at
pot, and
this is your chocolate. This is the chocolate that you eat. I said this is the
yeah,
source of the chocolate that you eat.
yeah, this is the
Yeah.
unprocessed chocolate. Yeah. So once it's sun dried,
Hmm.
they'll just roast it, and then they
Okay.
will mash it, and then once it's mashed, then it becomes the chocolate. You just have to add some sugar to it if you want to.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Let me put in my power cables again. I just unplugged everything just now. Okay. Cool. Nice. Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That was indeed a great session. Before the closing comments, would you like to add any specific comment or give a particular message to the viewers or the people who gonna see this in the future?
Yeah. Maybe I'll share something from one of our DAO members, Hans Martin.
Sure. Cool.
He's always been saying, just be in the present moment. Really be in the present moment. If you are able to be fully in the present moment, then your life will be very rich and meaningful. It is so simple.
Yeah, and that's the ancient teachings of
Yeah,
like the Vedic text and everything. So they all drills down to this very present moment because where will you be? We can human beings can only sustain in the present.
yeah,
Even if we think of the future, even if we think of the future, if you're gonna live that future moment, you can only live when it becomes your present.
yeah,
So that's what it say, like why it's called present, because it's the present of God given to you. And
yeah, yeah,
how well you live will define the quality of your life. And you don't it's something really intrinsic. It's really deep down at the soul level. You don't have to tell it to anybody. You
no,
you don't have to prove it to anybody. It's just the way you are living, like feeling each and every breath. The whole concept of the science called pranayama was totally being in the present, because when you're focusing in your breath, when you're inhaling it and exhaling out in some particular fashion, you can only be in the present. You can't be anywhere else.
no,
So
yeah,
that's that's so great, and I'm so glad to see like every person who's successful and working in tech domain, and how much rooted you are to the ancient principles. And I won't say it as restricted to any particular region or a culture. I'll say it as the principles of life itself, be it coming from Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, anywhere.
yeah. Be in the present, no? Like
Being in the
fully
present,
grounded in the present moment.
right now, right in the here and the now.
Yeah, be right here and now.
Okay, Gary, it was really great talking to you, and
Yeah,
we had a phenomenal talk, and you brought the concepts of DAOs, and which are considered as buzzwords in the
no,
modern, and you brought them to very simplistic levels. Really, thanks for coming, and let's do some more sessions and
yeah,
spread
yeah.
spread the knowledge around.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Thanks for like holding this sharing session, Tusha.
Exactly, exactly. And you told how AI did some work for you and it solved a great problem, and that would be really a case study for the
Yeah.
audience. Okay,
Hmm.
man, and thanks for showing us the chocolate that we eat, the raw chocolate that we eat.
Yes.
Enjoy your day. Enjoy your
You
day.
too.
Take care. Bye bye.
Okay.
Namaste
Yeah.
from
Chat
India.
soon. Namaste from Brazil.
Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.